Alright guys, this one's going to be a bit of a long one, so I wanted to go through my Captain America collection. I've got quite a few. um, he's my favorite comic book character. I grew up reading Captain America, along with X-Men and everything else. Always been a Marvel fan. Captain America's always been one of my favorite characters, and I just like him. So I thought I'd show you guys my personal Captain America collection. We're going to start with my MCU figures, just because I can't put everything out on the table. So this part's going to be just MCU stuff, and then we'll move over to the comic stuff. So we'll just start from the front and work our way to the back. This one right here is my Figma Captain America. This is the, I guess, Avengers, or maybe, I don't know. I guess it would be Avengers or Endgame uniform Captain America. That's my Figma. I really like this one. He's not in scale at all with most of what I collect, which is 6 inch. You can see there he's considerably smaller. I think he's only about 5.5, maybe somewhere between 5.5 and 5.75 tall. He's just a smaller in stature, smaller head, shorter, everything across the board. But this Figma figure is really, really cool. I really, really like it a lot. I don't collect a lot of these import figures just because they are expensive. So it's not unless, like in this case, that I run across a good deal, from, whoever, that I pick up something like this. But I really like this figure. He's really cool. Nice, cool, clean lines. I know some people complain about the figure because it doesn't have enough texturing on it, that kind of thing. I actually like that about this figure, that the costume looks nice and smooth. But really like this figure, very cool. I just wish it fit in line more with standard 6-inch stuff. So we'll put him off to the side. Next up, this is the other import that I have, and this is my SH Figuarts. This is Endgame Captain America, but this is the, I don't know, there's End Battle or Final Battle Endgame Cap, and then there's this Endgame Cap. Final Battle Endgame Cap is basically the same figure with some extra accessories, and he comes with a really, really messed up costume, essentially. And I kind of look like my guys to look, clean and the way they're supposed to look, not in that battle damaged look. Again, with the SH Figuarts stuff, had I not got him cheap, I normally don't buy this import stuff because it's just too expensive, but he's really cool, and I did get him for a really good deal. In fact, I got these two from the same person who was trying to clean out their collection, and so I got them very, very cheap. Normally, either of these two guys is going to run you, 60, 80 bucks, something like that. I didn't pay anywhere near that for both of them, much less for one of them. Great figure, really love this one. I'm going to do a review at some point comparing this to Marvel Legends, but for now, that one, he fits in a little bit better with 6-inch scale, but not much. It's almost worse than the Figma because he's so close to being the right scale, but just enough off that it doesn't look right. Whereas the Figma at least looks like a complete different line. But either way, cool figure, love it. But it just doesn't really fit in with most of my other Marvel Legends. Then, of course, we've got my 2012-ish, and you can tell because he's got the ball joint hips, the 2012 Captain America from the first Avengers movie. This isn't the reissue that came out after Endgame. That one actually has a little bit better paint apps on it. It's got some of the piping and stuff, and some of the stuff on the boots and the gloves and things like that. That's actually been touched up and technically a little better than this. But no reason for me to replace it. I really like this one. This is the kind of the original, and I do have a Steve Rogers head on him that I think comes from the Captain America Peggy Carter 2-pack. Looks a little goofy there. His head sits a bit high on the neck. That's just how they made this figure. Like, even with the original head that comes with this, the mast head, he still kind of has a long neck on this one. But I do like the figure. I think it's cool. So there you go. Put him off to the side. Now we've got, and he's going to fall down. He also has, by the way, this kind of curved foot thing going on. They only did this with a handful of figures. And it makes it harder for him to stand up. He does that a lot, unfortunately. All right, we've got here Winter Soldier Captain America in his stealth suit or tactical suit or whatever you want to call it. It's the same sculpt, basically, as the other Captain America that I think came out around the same time as this one. I like the suit. I like the dark colors. I like the kind of stealth shield and all that kind of stuff. It's good, a good solid Marvel Legends figure, good articulation. I think the details are done pretty well. I like the paint job for this guy, and I like this figure. He's a cool figure. All right, then we've got my Infinity War Captain America. Not my favorite MCU Captain America, but I did want him for my collection. He's got these horrible bicep swivels that do that, which none of the other Captain America Marvel Legends do. The bicep swivel is higher up between the bicep and the shoulder. On this one, it's not. It looks goofy. The figure itself is great. The sculpt is good if you don't turn the arms. I like the shield. The paint is good. I did redo the head. I did repaint the head because the head, as it comes, just looks, in my opinion, just not right. It doesn't look like Steve Rogers. Not that this is perfect or anything, but it certainly looks better. He comes just way too blonde. You can't even... He's got like, whited out eyebrows originally, the way this figure comes. So this definitely makes a difference. I think it looks better. It's not perfect, but certainly does look better than the way it came. Then, of course, we've got my 2-pack. This is the one that came with Falcon Captain America 2-pack. This, I think, is the best MCU Captain America we've gotten. It's his in-game outfit, comes with the unmasked head. It does come with a masked head as well, but I like the unmasked head here. Shield is the same as all the rest. The suit itself is just very similar to the other ones from Civil War and from Winter Soldier and all that. It's just got more details in it. There's just more there, and the paint apps are done really, really well, even though they are fairly simple. The paint apps are done really well. This is, I think, the best Marvel Legends MCU cap that we currently have out there. So then, again, it's going to take a while. I'm telling you guys. We got Sam Wilson Captain America. He's the other part of that 2-pack I just showed you. Very well done. I like the head sculpt on this. I think this is, well, it just is. It's better than the single-packed Falcon Captain America, Sam Wilson Captain America we got. The paint apps are better. The sculpt's the same. The head sculpt is considerably better. Looks much more like the actor. And then again, like I said, the paint itself is much better than the other one. Then, of course, we've got John Walker Captain America. Now, I like John Walker, actually. A lot of people didn't like him. I'm not the hugest fan of Falcon and Winter Soldier, the show, but I actually liked him. I like John Walker in the comics. I liked him in the show. I mean, he's not particularly like a goody-goody good guy like Steve Rogers is, but I think he's, he's a soldier and he was doing his best, and he did kind of wig out there during the show, but I do like the figure. I like the outfit. I wish it would have had the white in it. I don't know why they didn't put that there, but they didn't. And then, of course, to go along with that, we won't go into too much detail, but we've got his black outfit from when he officially kind of becomes U.S. agent. Again, same outfit, just a different color. I wish they would have put the white in there. Would have been great. The only thing I did to this was I redid the shield with black around here instead of blue, so that it kind of sort of matched his outfit a little bit better. So it's just slightly different color there. And of course, we've got my own version of Bucky Cap, MCU Bucky Cap. So we've got the John Walker body with the shield, with everything. But then I've got the Winter Soldier / Bucky. Which one? I don't remember. Whatever the latest one that came out was, I think from the Disney Plus wave. I put that head on there, so I've got my own little version of what if Bucky became Captain America like he did in the comics. And then we've got this one here. I think this one, I don't remember if this one is Civil War. I honestly don't remember if this is Avengers Age of Ultron. I can't remember which one this one is, but he's got the slightly darker blue outfit. This is one of the earlier ones. It's before these, I think. I don't know. It might have not been before the stealth suit. Same basic sculpt as the stealth suit one, just in a blue color with the red and white stripes. Good sculpt, solid sculpt, good Captain America. Not as good as the Endgame one, but all in all good. I like it. Then, of course, we have my own little amalgamation here. This is my Iron Patriot. Because, like, seriously, why did Tony Stark never build Steve Rogers an Iron Man outfit like he should have? And if you're going to have an Iron Patriot decked out in red, white, and blue, why wouldn't you want it to be Steve Rogers? So this is actually the masthead from the in-game Captain America that I just popped on, an Iron Patriot figure, and then I drilled a small hole in the arm there so that you could use the peg from the shield. This is the shield actually from one of the Gamerverse Captain Americas. I don't know, this one was just a little bigger and the stars bigger, and I thought it'd just look a little more bolder for this kind of over-the-top, you know, Iron Man, you know, Iron Patriot with Steve Rogers in the suit. So there you go. Those are my MCU figures. Now let's move on to the comic figures that I've got. Alright, well here we are for the comic book Captain America collection, and I've got quite a few more of these than I do of the MCUs, but first off I'll show you I had this. I have not opened him yet. This is the Marvel Legends 20th anniversary. I haven't opened him up yet. I'm going to. He just looks so good in package. I know I'm not getting him all on the screen there, but he looks so good in the package that I just haven't wanted to open him up yet. But do have that one right there. This is all the rest of the ones that I have. We'll start with this guy back here, and he is like a kind of a soft goods, early Toybiz. I don't know. They were doing something in the 90s. Where they're doing like famous first covers or something like that, and he's got real clothes and rubber gloves and boots on. Well, I don't know, pleather boots. I don't know. He's kind of goofy looking, but I picked him up for like $10 at a flea market, and he was in really good shape. He's kind of like a giant Mego or something, but I just kind of like him. He looks cool on the shelf, so you know, I just like to leave him there. We got this big guy over here. Get him out of the way. This is the, God, I can't even fit him on screen. This is the 12-inch Marvel Legends. I really like this outfit, and they've done kind of variations of this outfit, which I've got some of those figures, and it's kind of almost like a cross between the Marvel Now and the MCU version of Captain America. Again, I picked him up, I think, for $20. Same flea market, same guy from the same flea market. And I just kind of like him. He looks cool on the shelf, but obviously not in 6-inch scale. We'll pull a couple of the ones that I'm not huge fans of, but I've just kind of collected because, you know, it's Captain America. We got the Gamerverse stealth suit, which is fine. It is, I mean, it's not a great Captain America, honestly. It's kind of like a realistic, like, if Captain America was in a SWAT team, basically. Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say about that. It's got fine articulation and everything. It's an okay figure. It's I guess, a kind of a cool take on Captain America, but certainly one of my least favorite. And then this one right here is the regular SWAT team version. You can tell he doesn't have a shield because I used his shield on my Iron Patriot Captain America. It's the same guy as the one back there in black, just slightly different colors. Then we've got my Marvel Concepts Iron Man Captain America thing from, what was this, 2012? I guess, something like that, around the time the Avengers movie came out. And it's just a repainted Iron Man suit from around that time. It's got the old school, like, ball hips and everything. It's not a great figure, but it's Captain America, so, you know, I like him, just because. Then we got this guy here. I can't remember, is this Secret Wars or Civil War, or I can't remember which Captain America this is. I actually really like this costume. I really like this outfit, and it's the same buck that's been used time and time again for Captain America. But I really like this costume. I dig it a lot. And it's probably the cheapest Captain America figure you can pick up right now. There are so many of them out there. You can go on eBay right now and find this guy for, like, sometimes you can find him as cheap as $10 with the shield. You know, certainly under 20, you can still pick him up in just perfect condition. I just like him. I like the trim on the boots. I like everything. I think it's a really cool outfit. Not one that he wore for very long, but I like it. It's really, really cool. And speaking of that, I've got kind of my own version of Bucky Cap that I came up with, where I basically just bought another one of those figures, swapped out the head, and I actually swapped out the head for, what's that guy's name? Icarus from the Eternals. Had a spare head, the one that doesn't have the lightning effects coming out. And then I swapped his arm for the Stiltman Build-A-Figure arm. Didn't swap the whole thing, just the from the bicep down. And kind of just played around and made myself a little Bucky Cap figure. Speaking of Bucky Cap, I do have a couple of them here. I've got the Marvel Legends Bucky Cap, the original. Everybody probably has this in their collection. It's an okay figure. I mean, it's a good buck. The figure itself is very outdated for Bucky compared to, you know, Captain America, but it's still a decent figure. And then I've got him, and I've got the Marvel Select version. I picked him up in a box of a whole bunch of other figures, and I didn't pay much for him. I think it was like $8 or something that I paid for him. I don't collect a whole lot of Marvel Select, certainly not human-sized individuals. I like their Hulks and Juggernauts and stuff like that, but I usually don't collect those, but I have a few of them there. Then we've got, this one is, I think this is Ultimate Captain America from World War II, where he's got the gray pants and the gun, and he's got the vest on and the belt, the tack belt, and all that kind of stuff. Very cool. I like this one a lot. This is a good sculpt, good paint, good everything across the board. He's older school, so he's got the ball joint hips, but still a really good figure that I like a lot. That I would love to see maybe a more modern version of the same costume done in whatever buck they want to do, just to kind of improve the articulation and sculpt a little bit. But I really like that figure. I just think it's a cool costume. Then we've got my retro carded Captain America, which is just so cool. I mean, it's the exact same Captain America buck we've gotten many, many times. Not just for Captain America, but many other figures. But he's just got all the little details printed on to give him that scale mail look and that kind of thing. The lighter colors give him a little bit more of like an old school Toybiz retro look. You know, not a complex figure here or anything, but I really like him. He's really cool. He's one of my favorites, actually. I really like that figure because it's just cool. It reminds me of collecting Toybiz stuff back in the 90s, which I did. Then we've got, I think this is, I don't know what series this is, and I don't remember if this is Hasbro or into Toybiz. It's probably the beginning of Hasbro, I think. And he's a little on the small side, but he's the first appearance Captain America, so he's got the old school shield, old school suit, old school, you know, helmet or whatever. And again, one of my favorites. It's an old sculpt, but it's still got a lot of really good articulation, and it's still really fun, and I like the old school shield and that kind of thing. Again, he's kind of small compared to all the other figures, but he's really cool, and I like him a lot. Then we'll go with this guy right here. This is the Marvel Now. This is the Captain America who I've got on my my shelf with all my other characters like Doctor Strange and Reed Richards and all that kind of stuff, who's part of the Illuminati. So he's got the you know, a little bit different costume design, that kind of thing. Chin strap, a little bit different helmet there in the details, some extra gray and stuff like that. He kind of reminds me of the Ultimate Captain America just a little bit, with a more modern sculpt, like the knee pads, the boots, all that kind of stuff. He's just a really cool figure. He's again, much like many of these, I keep saying, this is one of my favorite figures. He is. Then old school Steve Rogers, I can't remember. Was this Terrax Build-A-Figure Wave? I can't even remember what he was from. Again, this is one I would love to see in a more modern sculpt, because he's got the old school ball joint hips. I love the figure. It's great to see, you know, an old school Steve Rogers in like his, you know, kind of not undercover, but shield outfit or whatever it is, you know, with this gun belt and all that kind of stuff. Pretty cool to see. I love the sculpting on the boots and the stuff up the side of the legs, all that kind of stuff. It's a really well done figure. I'd love to see a modern take from Hasbro on this with a better sculpt. I don't know, maybe use the new Vulcan body or something and give us a cool Captain America with that outfit, but just better, more modern stuff. Then, of course, World War II, old school Captain America. He's also got the shield, which I really like, but he's kind of in his combat outfit, and he's got the removable helmet that you can pop on. I don't have his Tommy gun. I wish I did, but he's got the old school boots and just kind of an old school outfit with the leather jacket on and all that kind of stuff. Very, very cool. I like these old World War II era Captain America figures. I just like they're cool. Again, he's kind of small, great sculpt, amazing paint, but he is kind of small. Then we got this guy here, and this is the new 20th anniversary Captain America body that I had stumbled across. Somebody was selling just the body for I think $12 or something. And it had everything there except for the head and the accessories. So I'm like, well, I've got extra shields, so I gave him an extra shield. Gave him a gun, because, you know, old school Cap had a gun. Gave him the shoulder straps, just because I thought it looked kind of cool. But this is the 20th anniversary cap, with all the good sculpting and stuff like that on the scales on his outfit. That is a Johnny Storm head, which I think looks like a perfect, comic book Steve Rogers. So I had an extra Johnny Storm head because I did some customizing on a Johnny Storm, and I had the head left over, and I thought it just went perfect as an unmasked kind of modern Captain America from that 20th sculpt. Then of course we've got Onslaught Wave Captain America right here. I've got him riding a Harley, basic sculpt. I'm going to show you some more of them because I have 3 of them set up different ways, but this is my original. He's got his shield on his back, old school Onslaught. That's probably, I think, in my opinion, this is probably the best comic version Captain America that we currently have. I think the buck holds up. Some people will disagree. I think the coloring is perfect to kind of ride that line between old school comic book, retro, bright, like this back here or this guy here, but still kind of a little bit more of the modern, darker color. And I think it's got a great head sculpt. I think, just in general, it's just kind of classic, old school comic book, kind of that eternal look that Captain America had throughout the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, except for the occasional costume swap like all of these. I think that Onslaught Wave Captain America is probably the best Captain America figure that we have, just as a general cap. I know some people are going to say, well, what about 80th cap? What about 20th? Because those are 2 new ones, and they're really, really good. And they're fantastic. But when it just comes to something kind of cool and basic that works, I like this one. And speaking of which, I've got one here set up as Cap Wolf, which was a cool storyline from, was it 89, 90? I can't remember when this storyline happened. Late 80s, let's say. Late 80s, early 90s. The Cap Wolf saga, where Cap got turned into a werewolf again. This is that Onslaught Wave body. But I've got one set up that way. And then we get into a couple of Kit Bash customs that I've got. This guy right here, also Onslaught Wave body, but I made it a Frank Castle Punisher Captain America. Because if you read the comics, in the comics, Captain America is Frank Castle's idol. And he absolutely idolizes him. And, what would it be like if Frank Castle became Captain America, took over the role of Captain America? Well, he would certainly have guns and bullets and all kinds of stuff. And I like the red with this particular, I forget which head this is from. I don't remember if that's the retro or it came with the Walgreens exclusive. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's the one that came with the extra heads, and the red on this matches the red on the Captain America pretty damn good, especially on the shield. So we went with the red bandana. It's a very, very basic Kit Bash. It's not complicated at all, but I think it works. And then, of course, comic-worthy Thor, because as we all know in the comics, when somebody grabs Mjolnir, they don't just, if they're worthy, they don't just get to pick it up. If they're worthy, they actually turn into a version of Thor, right? They don't just pick up the hammer and use the hammer. I get why they did it in the movies, makes sense. But in the comics, he actually, gets a version of Thor's costume. So again, went with this big shield because I like it. This is the, what's his name? Thunder, what is the body of this guy here? It's Eric Masterson, whatever his name is. I can't remember the body here. It's the modern one. He had the vest and the mace and the ponytail. Anyway, I use that body and I'm completely blanking on the name of the character now. I use that body to do a comic book worthy Thor. I think this is one of the capes from the Odin, or All-Father Thor Build-A-Figure wave, or Build-A-Figure, actually, the actual Build-A-Figure. And had an extra Mjolnir here, and just kind of gave him a nice, worthy Captain America. This is one of the Onslaught Wave heads, which the blue doesn't match the body perfectly, but I think between the blue here and the blue here, and the blue on the shield, that this goes good with it. I could have repainted it, but I wanted a simple Kit Bash, and there you go. So there's my comic book worthy Thor, which again was a very, very simple, easy Kit Bash to do. So there you go. There are currently all my Captain America figures, both MCU and comic book, of all different flavors. So hope you enjoyed it. You got any questions, comments, anything like that, leave it down below. Sorry for the long video, but we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Later, guys.